Alright, the first thing that we're going to go over is how to wire up and get your LEDs set up. You're going to have two different strips here, and just real quick for the basics of them. On the back of these, there is a strip that you can peel off, and there'll be an adhesive that we're going to get into. And then, let me give you a close-up view. Alright, when you take a close look at your LED strips, you're going to see you've got two connector spots, these little copper places right here, and a positive and a negative sign. When you hook your LEDs up, you have to have the positive to the positive, the negative to the negative, or else the lights aren't going to work. Alright, when you connect these, you want to make sure that you've got your positive side, which is the red side, lined up with the positive on your LED strip, and then basically this just slides in like that, and then underneath the connectors, and then underneath the connectors like that, and then you just close this and it snaps down and you're good to go. Once you connect your connector to the strip, you always want to test it. This will save you from having any problems later. So just do a quick, the battery pack that comes with your kit. Make sure you've got your wire stripped, and then just touch the negative, the positive to the positive, and the negative to the negative, and make sure it all lights up like so. Alright, so to get this strip ready to put into the kit, I've removed the backing. And just with the stickiness, what we're going to do is we're going to put it down to this piece. This will be for the weapons console. And you just want to make sure that this corner lines up with that corner, and then you're flush against here. So just like so. Make sure it's down nice and tight with the end hanging off like that. And then you'll see in the written instructions where this is going to go. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to attach the larger strip to light up the main display. There are two ends to this strip, and this is very important. This end, you can see it goes from the LED to a single resistor to another LED to two resistors to an LED. This end is one LED, two resistors, one LED. You want to make sure, and this is crucial, or else this will not line up correctly, that you have the one LED, the one resistors, the two LEDs to start on this side, the left-hand side of this piece. So we went and we've started to remove some of the backing. If it sticks and doesn't want to come off, make sure you got a utility knife handy so you can kind of dig in there and lift it up. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to move it back to the third copper connection point. So back to about there. So we're going to move the backing to a little bit past this third copper connection point, which is right about here where my fingers are. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to place this to make sure that we get these copper connection points lined up with this very thin little divot right here. Center this up, get it down, and you only want to press it down to about there. We don't want to go further than that yet, because now what we got to do is we want to make sure that we're going to hold this in place with these little zip ties. You want to make sure that you get these small ones like this that are thin this way and are also thin this way. And what we're going to do is we're going to wrap it right around there. Alright, once you get the zip tie in, again, these little short, not too shallow, the shallow notches, you'll get an end over here like that, and then go ahead and then just trim this off. You want to make sure these zip ties are as tight as you can get them. Obviously be careful not to break the MDF, but this is what's going to help hold these into place in addition to the stickers once we make these corner turns, which I'm going to show you next. Okay, at this point we've got the next wire tie down. We've got some more of the backing removed, and you just want to remove this backing slowly as you go, because if you don't, you'll touch it, you'll get sticky stuff, it'll lose its stickiness, and it just won't work. What we want to do now is we want to fold this a little bit so this can make this turn. We want to try to keep the fold You want to try to keep the fold here across these copper points as they're the most malleable. But what we're going to do is we're just going to take it and we're going to fold it down like so. And then we're going to zip tie it in place again. Okay, so now you can see that we've made this turn for this corner. You want to try to keep the bends on the copper parts because that's the most malleable, but don't fold it too tight. If you fold it too tight, you're going to break the connections and then your LEDs aren't going to work. Don't worry about it being lifted up here. You've got this corner piece. There isn't any acrylic that will be sitting on top of it, so it sitting up like this is totally fine. So what we're going to go ahead now and do is remove this piece down to here, do the next strap, make the turn, remove the rest of it, make the turn, do the strap, and then do the strap. So we just basically are going to do the exact same thing that we did on this side and do it over here. Okay, so at this point we've got the LED strip attached to the MDF. We have the zip ties down and everything is pretty much good to go. What you want to do though, again, you want to make sure these are as tight as possible because the acrylic is going to be sitting on top of the LEDs, so you want the zip ties to be, not on top of the LEDs, so you can see over here, off to the side. And then when you go and put this together, you can see how the grooves are cut out for the zip ties, so you'll just be able to put this together. Excuse me, and then keep the LED in the center between the notches. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and hook the connectors to the ends of this. Okay, the left hand side is pretty simple. The positive is going to line up with the negative, just like the other piece did. So again, we're just taking this and we're sliding it in and we're closing it. But then we're going to go ahead and show you the other side, which is going to be a little bit trickier. Alright, so for this side, what you can see, it's a little bit different from what you're used to. The negative is on the right hand side, which is also where the red wire is. So what you want to do, if you take and we flip this over, you can see that you also have the copper connections underneath as well. So what you want to do is get yourself a knife, scrape off the sticky stuff, and at that point, then you can go ahead and put it on, because that will be your positive to your positive and the negative to the negative once we flip it over. Alright, and then the last thing that you want to do after you have this connected, again, test it just to make sure that both sides work. Again, because that'll save you from having to try to pull this apart or fix it later. So the negative to the negative, the positive to the positive, we all light up. And then check the other side, the positive to the positive. And the negative to negative, and we all light up. Alright, so this is good to go. Alright, I want to take a quick minute here and talk to you about the sticker sheets. These are pretty easy, but there's a couple things that you need to know. Basically, when you take a look at these things and you flip them over on the back, you can see that they're only scored in a few places. So what that means is you're actually going to get some pieces like this one here that doesn't have a score across it. So you're going to have to fold it over a little bit, dig it out, or do whatever to get the backing off. So basically with the stickers, there's two different designs. There's going to be ones that you're just going to be laying on top of everything, and that's pretty simple. And then there's going to be other ones that the edges will fold up and around. And this is an example of this. Is one of the keys. So basically what I've got here is this is what it looks like, and then I've just removed the backing. So what you want to do here is you want to take and you want to center your piece up on the corners. These are very sticky, so that's why I've got the knife out to kind of help me hold it down and whatnot. And you can see that it's all nice and centered up. Then just press it down a little bit and then wrap the corners around it. Just take a second. And I'm probably not in frame, which is okay, but and then once you get done, you've got your little button. The other thing that's nice, another little trick that you want to do with this, again, is when you've got the gray board, sometimes put the sticker down first, and then put the gray board on top of it, and then fold up over the edges, and that'll make your life easy. Okay? Alright, so now we're going to show you how to wire this bad boy up. I am not going to go over how to wire things. You can solder it, connector it, twist it, electric tape it, whatever. There's all kinds of YouTube videos that can teach you how to wire stuff. It's very simple, won't take you long to figure out. Alright, so what I've done at this point is I've added an extension to this side so you've got more wire so it's easier to work with. And then we've got the main centerpiece on. Now when you do your centerpiece, you'll have the stickers on it, you'll have the rest of the switch on it and everything else like that, and it'll be ready to go. But for this purpose of just showing how we're going to do this, I didn't do that. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is you're going to want to go ahead and run these wires through here and then connect them to these wires. These wires are the wires for the LED strip that's right in here, and you're just going to go black to black and red to red. So we're going to go ahead and do that real quick. Alright, so at this point we've got these wires connected. You'll want to add some wires to the back of your switch before you put the switch in. This will just make your life easier. This is going to interrupt the red wire, so I've got white wire with a red stripe on it. And then we've got our battery wires back here, and then we just ran this part of it through here. Okay? Okay, so again, really simple. So we've got our battery pack here, and this is the black wire coming from the battery pack. You want to go ahead and attach it to the black wire of the LED strips on this side. This wire is the one that's coming from the bottom of your switch. Alright, so from here you want to attach the battery wire to the bottom of the strip, or excuse me, to the bottom of the switch, like so. I'm just going to twist this up. Alright, so then once that's attached, then this wire is coming off from the top of the switch, meaning the part that's closest up to this side. And then that just goes to this one here like this. So it all looks like that. And then we turn this around and hit the switch. Everything all lights up. Alright. Okay, when you get your acrylic pieces, they are going to come with a backing. Some of them will be paper that'll be very easy to see. Some of it might be a clear backing. So you'll go ahead and need to remove that. And as you can see, it just peels right off, like so. Okay? Alright, the cutting process for this is going to leave a slight film that you can see right here. All you want to do is just take some warm water. You don't need any kind of clean or anything else like that, and then just rinse this off and dry it, and then you're going to be good to go. Alright, so once your acrylic is cleaned up, it'll look nice and pretty just like this. And what you want to do to mark on this, first of all, only mark on the smooth side. Do not mark on the engraved side unless you want to color, which we're going to get to in a minute. Any dry erase will do, but if you want it to be really bright, when you put the lights on, what you're looking for is chalk pens. We found these are on Amazon. They weren't overly expensive, and then you get a whole bunch of colors that you can mess with, which we'll get into in just a second. Alright. So one of the options that you have for the screens is the clear acrylic. What's cool about the clear acrylic is you can use the different color chalk pens to go ahead and color it in and get the different effects that you saw on the one setup that we have. To do that, what you do is you flip it over and you actually put it where it's engraved. Now once you do this, that's it. There's no wiping it off and then coming back and recoloring it or anything else like that. So if you want to see what it's going to look like beforehand, then again on the smooth side you can put it down and you can get an idea of what it looks like, and I can show you an example here real quick. And here you can see an example of what it looks like again with the clear acrylic, and then just using the chalk pens to do some of those different colors. Alright, that brings us to the acrylic pieces that cover up the radar areas and then the frequency areas for the radio. We've engraved them, as you can see, but when you put them over the areas, it's kind of light. So you probably want to go ahead and backfill these as well, either with the chalk markers or with some paint to make it stand out a little bit better. And because it's engraved in the acrylic, it'll give you that nice, actually look like a display effect. Alright, once you get the frames built for the screens, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to test them. So get one of your screens and then just slide it in and make sure that it slides nice and easy. What I found from experience was I used clamps to hold these down and it clamped it too hard. So basically it pushed in the MDF and it pinched it so you couldn't really move the screen. If that happens to you, it's an easy fix. Just get yourself a flathead screwdriver and very gently start at the bottom and start twisting the flathead like this, and that'll raise it up and it'll make it where you can slide your screen in nice and easy. When you go to attach the frames to the top of your cockpit, what you're going to want to make sure that you do, and yours will have stickers on it at this point when you're actually ready to do this, but when this goes into this area like this, you want to make sure that these here don't pinch together so you can't get the screen in and out. So when you put it in and you get ready to glue it, make sure you just take some scrap MDF or whatever you've got to make sure that you keep it separated or keep it pushed out so it's up against the cockpit and you'll be able to slide in the sheet.